Welcome back. Grab your coffee or tea. I've definitely been a little afternoon tea gal lately, but I still love my coffee. That's for sure. Okay. Just jumping on here because I don't know if the intro is very clear on what this is. Like, is this a how-to or whatever? I basically just want to share some of the changes that I wanted to make for myself in creating healthy habits, taking away not so healthy habits, and then the results, kind of the benefits of those tiny changes. I think I break it down to 6 categories. 2. Just want this to be inspiring to you, maybe give you some ideas, help maybe spark the thought process for you and what you might want to do for you and your family. Let's get into it. Tiny changes, remarkable results. Atomic Habits. I'm sure you've heard of this. Every influencer and their mom. It really is a great book. If you haven't read it, read it. The biggest thing for me that stuck was, I believe, in the first chapter when it talks about how if you improve yourself by 1% every day for a year, 365 days, by next year, you'll be 36% better. And I just thought that was so cool and encouraging. And not just that statement, but it's shared with like the company and how like they tweaked things in the smallest areas, and then they ended up becoming top in sales and like number 1. Like being excellent in the little things prepares your way to do bigger and greater things. And for me, it's not just like, oh, let's do this because I'm motivated. I want to get results. Like I want these results. I, as the book also says, like you want to form habits that create a lifestyle and all that. And yes, and you want results and all that. But I also believe that like, aside from results, I just see now that I have a family, like what I want for my children. I want them to emulate me. And who do I want to be, and who do I want them to be? Not only that, but I feel like as a believer, I believe it's our duty to do things with excellence, do them to the glory of God. And so I just want to encourage anybody that, wants to have better habits, take the step to creating a better life for you and your family. Let's just get into it. The first thing I have, I think 6 things here. One of the first things as I read Atomic Habits, and it talks about how like, what habits do you want to create and what habits do you want to change? Like one of the first things I thought about like wanting to be, I wanted to become a reader. And for me, it's like, I never was like a big book person. And I had read a couple throughout my life, maybe very, very little amount. But I never was like, oh, I'm going to go get a book, or hey, I'm going to read a book today instead of watch something. Like it's not enjoyable. So I'm like, I really want to be. And not just because like I know it's good for you, but because I really want to expand my vocabulary. I want to learn, I want more knowledge, and I want to cut out some of the bad habits and, put something like that in place of my routine. So that's what was the first thing that I started with. How I said I was going to do that was like, okay, when the kids go to bed, I'm going to get in my bed and I'm going to read at least 1 chapter a night. And then after that, I can be free to do what I want. I could watch a show, I could, whatever it is. But you have to read at least, that's just like the habit you have to create, right? So for me, it was like, oh yeah, I started with that, but I ended up reading more and more chapters, and I started to get into it. I started with Atomic Habits, and then I was like, after this, but towards the end of the book, I was like, all right, I think I don't feel like reading the rest of it. I get the idea. But I'm like, no, just stick to it. It's what you have to do. Then I was like, oh, I'm going to go to fiction. I'm going to start with a rom-com. And then I tried Frida McFadden, I think her name is. It's like a thriller. Couldn't do it. I can't handle anything scary. It was very interesting, but I'm like, I just can't. I'll have nightmares. Then I tried The Nightingale, which is like a really heavy, deep, beautifully written story about war and sisters, and I just couldn't do that either because I can't handle crying. I would be crying the whole time, and it's just too much for me. I like romance. I just do. And I also like just like learning books that help you be better and do better and like tips. So if you have any recommendations for me, comment below some of your favorite fiction and nonfiction books. But anyway, with changing that little habit, just that small, doing that, the benefits of that for me were like, I was getting more relaxed and my mind wasn't overstimulated. I started to go to bed way earlier, which, I mean, what is that? That helps and improve in every area of your life. You literally have a good night's rest and you are like a new person in the morning. I stopped snacking as much because I was reading and not watching something and just being entertained, which was actually very interesting. I'm like, wow, like I'm not wanting to snack and read. I'm just reading and my mind is being stimulated, but not in an unhealthy way. So that was really cool. And now I just have, I don't know, a plethora of books. Probably read at least 11 books. And I have to get back into it. I've had like a little lull. But yeah, I'm just being honest. So that's that. The second thing for my habits, or like the person that I want to become, is I state the statement, I am active. My family is an active family. And so for me, like, what does that look like? Like, are we conscious? Are we like intentional about what we're eating? Are we moving our bodies? So I had to like basically write out a plan. Like, okay, I'm gonna work. It's because like saying, oh, I'm gonna work out. I'm gonna start working out. Like that's just so vague and not helpful. And then you have to rely on motivation, and that's not the answer, because that's like a dopamine hit. And then once that wears off, you're over it. You're just, you don't see results right away. You're not gonna keep going. So it comes down to habits. It comes down to discipline. And I was like, all right, I'm going to go back to my 10 to 15 minute workouts every day, which is on my mat. I get my weights. I do squats. I do crunches. I do push-ups, planks, sometimes like, arm work. And they're really not a lot. But even just doing that within not even a week, I've had so much more energy, which is insane. It's like such a crazy thing once you actually start doing it. So that's something that I've been sticking with. But on top of that, I'm like, I need to do a little more. So I dedicated 3 days a week to cardio. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And again, not a lot. I will at least do a mile, I think, but that ranges from 15 to 20 minutes. I don't even do a full 30 minutes. But just taking those steps of like being consistent has helped me so much more energy. I feel good. I feel like my endurance is building, my strength, I feel stronger. And that's the biggest thing for me. Like as far as like weight loss, like I can't even sit here and be like, oh yeah, I lost 20 pounds or anything like that. I probably like in my jeans fit different if like a pair from like a year ago, but overall, I just feel better. Right, there's somebody like literally in the window. And another thing for helping me, is like I would put out my workout gear the night before, the day that I knew I was going to be doing like a workout. And that just helps you like, oh, I got to work out the next day. I don't have to think about it. Oh, I don't have anything to wear. Like, I'm not going to do it now. It is like no excuse. If like, let's say the day you're supposed to work out, you don't, you mess up, or you don't do your everyday workout. It depends. Like the next day is so crucial. If you choose to not work out again, you're starting to create a bad habit again. If you just say, oh, you have a day, everybody has a day, or I just got to jump back into it tomorrow, then you're getting back into your habit, your good habit. Because it can snowball to the worst, or it can go back into your good habits. And that to me sticks out too. I always think about that. Like, all right, I didn't do it today. I have to get back into tomorrow. And it's even like, it's happened where it's been 2 days in a row. And I'm like, okay, no, absolutely not. I have to jump into it. Because it's so easy to get back into the bad habit. So keep that in mind. Everyone's going to have a bad day. All of the habits that you want to create, you may not do it perfectly, but just get back into it. And leading into the next one, basically, it's just like having a plan, because like I said, just saying working out, it's not going to help. You have to have a plan. I want to be more organized and productive. I felt like for a long time with the kids being home, especially from the summer, and before Levi went to school, I was just like, my days are rolling over. It just felt like one big long day, and like I didn't have structure, which is not fun because it just feels like chaos. You'll have good days, you'll have bad days, but like I just was like, I need structure in my life. So what did I do? It's been years. If you've been following me for a while, you know, like I was always big on this. Planners. I love planners. I'm like, how could I go so many years without this? So, and not just any planner, okay? It's gotta be a very large planner with big squares where you can write everything. And also, you turn the page and it's another month. Well, I hate the planners that are like thick and you have to scroll through it for the next month. Like, no, I need, okay, the last month, going back, right? So doing something as little as this, writing out my month, writing out my husband's schedule, the kids' schedule, school, appointments. When did I get waxed last? When did I color my hair last? Even down to like my period. I put a dot and then I put the dot on end. So I have everything laid out. It literally just helps you stay on track of everything. It's a game changer. If you don't have one, you need to get one. I don't care if you're a stay-at-home mom. It's so good. So with this, I like highlighted. So Monday, Wednesday, Fridays are my days. I chose Wednesdays, like, oh, let me get into a habit. I need to start being more consistent. What do? You plan out what it is, and then you execute it. Wednesdays, I'm uploading 1 o'clock. I might change that to 2 o'clock now, but you get the idea. It just makes things so much more clearer, so much easier, and I regret not having this sooner. Okay, so that's that. Get a planner, okay? That's made everything so easy for me. On top of that, I always had notebooks, but I started to get more specific. Like, I'm like, okay, the night before every day, I'm going to kind of like jot down what the next day looks like and my to-do list. So again, I wake up, I have a plan for the day. I'm not just aimlessly waking up, oh, I think I'm gonna relax and just do it later, or maybe I'll do this. And of course, like, you have those days, right? But when you set yourself up in your day, set it up for success, it makes the biggest difference, especially when you have a time limit. You're like every minute counts for me. Like, I literally was like, all right, I'm dropping the kids off, and by 9 o'clock, I'll get home by 9:15. I'll run to the gym 9:15. Then I'll jump in the shower. Like, I literally like would time it, and like I don't know, but it helps. It helps me. And then I also have this notebook. Shout out to Zan. I love it. But this is like my grocery list. Like, I write all my groceries here, and I take this with me to the store. Yes, I'm that lady. I'm like the only one who brings a notebook to the store for groceries. Or do you guys? Does anyone still do that? But it just gets me organized. So with that, it goes into my next one, number 4, which is household chores and tidiness. And I've always considered myself like, I like a clean home. I like a tidy home. So it's always been a goal, but life is life, and you have children, and you know, these things happen. It gets crazy. It gets messy. It's just like overwhelming. Laundry's overwhelming. Kids' toys and picking up after them and picking up after your husband, and just like, it gets overwhelming. So again, a game plan. And so some of the habits we create and are consistent with are going to help us. For me, starting with the first chore of my day, like always, I would say 99% of the time, I am going to make my bed. I know. Crazy. Revolutionary. What's her name said that in one of her videos? but it's a staple. It's like literally, it's very true. Like you make your bed, you set yourself up. And for me personally, like I think I shared this with you guys, but when I do my laundry, I pile it on my bed, I fold it here, I lay it out, and then everything of me and Danny's goes in our drawers. I put fold the rest of the kids' stuff, put it in the bin, and take it to their room. It just like stops the back and forth. It makes things easier. But when I do my laundry, like my bed has to be made, because if it's all like messy and then the clothes, I just can't. So anyway, that's just a side note. But I make my beds. It just makes things less chaotic. I make the kids' beds and my bed. So that's the first chore. Even if I don't, like there'll be days where I wake up and I directly do that. Oh my gosh, hold on, I'm getting a phone call. I'll do that as soon as I wake up. But then there's days where it's like, oh, mommy, blah, blah, blah. And then like I'll feed the kids and whatever, and then I'll get to it. But that'll always be my first chore. And then for me, have a non-negotiable nighttime routine. That has made such a big difference. I'm pretty sure I've shared this before. But for me, my non-negotiable, 99% of the time, I have my days, obviously, is after dinner, I clean up right away, even if it's just me doing it. Do the dishes, wash the pans, load the dishwasher, wipe down the counters, sweep or vacuum. And that's maybe not every night, but a lot of the times I'll vacuum because the kid, like crumbs, everything. And then I load the dishwasher. And if it's like if I turn that dishwasher on early enough and I'm still up, and then it's done, I will empty the dishwasher, because that makes actually a huge difference, not having to unload it in the morning. It's one less thing to do. But I also make my coffee pot. I've set it up for the morning. Again, like in the morning, like if I skip that, it seems like it's not a big deal. But when you're in a chaotic like morning routine, or the kids are like rushing to school, it's one less step. It makes such a huge difference for me. There's nothing like waking up to a clean kitchen and a pot of coffee ready. You just press the button. Nothing like it. So it just gets you on track. For me, it's made the biggest difference in my life. Oh my gosh, when you don't do it, it's like, I feel like it's a crazy day. And then the other thing for me that I added to my habits that I started doing was with laundry. It's like, I know everybody can relate, but whatever. Laundry's just insane. So for me, I'm like, this is just getting out of hand. It's getting out of hand. I can't keep up with this. I just said, you know what? I have to do at least one load a day. And that really, and not just do the load a day. Like I'll do one load. After it's done, I will fold it, put it in the hamper, and put it away before the end of the night. And of course, like there are days where it doesn't happen. Like I'll do the laundry, but then it'll be sitting there in a pile. But I would say 95% of the time, I do it. I stick to it. The thing that I did stick to is just making sure that I do a load a day. Because it just gets out of hand. And then then it's just like, I have to do laundry. And then you're looking for things to wear, and the kids, and it's just like, it saves you energy. It saves everybody like less frustration. It just really helps if you just, even if it's a small load, just that it's consistent. You're doing it. You're getting to the habit of like, okay, wash, dry, fold, put away. And it's less of a like overwhelming task. So that has definitely made a huge, huge, huge difference in my life and in my family's, because my husband too, like he's just on the go. He has to change multiple times a day. He has things going on. I put his stuff away, and it's like, it's the biggest blessing to him. Like fold his underwear, put his socks away nicely. If he can grab his socks and his underwear, he's happy. Like, I don't know. It makes a difference, and maybe that'll help you and your husband too. And then we're going to my fifth one, which is a very little small habit. And I've talked about this for years. Shout out to KGMTL, Catherine, who put me on to lemon water first thing in the morning. basically the whole thing with lemon water, you're supposedly the most dehydrated when you wake up in the morning, and the worst thing you could do is have a cup of coffee. And I'm so, like, I love that too. Like, I wake up, I just want to have sip on my hot cup of coffee and sit down. It's so relaxing. But yeah, so I have to force myself. I'm not gonna lie, it's not always ideal, but about 2 weeks ago I started back up again because I was lacking with the lemon water for a little bit, not gonna lie. But so yeah, anyway, you're dehydrated, right? So the water first thing in the morning not only hydrates you, but the lemon detoxifies your body. It takes everything out, all the toxins, it flushes it, which is so big in the morning. It also is loaded with vitamin C, which is so good for you. Getting like, I think it's like almost your full amount of vitamin C, might be a little less than that. But so you're getting that first thing in the morning. And what else is in there? There's so many benefits of it. It helps with skin. I also have been adding extra virgin olive oil. If you're adding a Celtic sea salt, a Himalayan sea salt, you're getting all your minerals for the day. You're getting, I don't know, look it up. I can't remember everything, but the olive oil is good for, it's anti-inflammatory. It's fatty acids, I think, which helps with the bad cholesterol, and it also helps your skin glow. Today I added some oregano oil, which is a natural antibiotic. I only did that because my son just got over being sick and he literally like spit in my face and I went like, I need to. So whenever anyone's sick in my family or around me, I'm like, I start to have drops of oregano oil, and it actually really does work. It's amazing. But anyway, yeah, just the lemon water, start with that. It literally, so for me, like, I know I'm getting these benefits. It's a great way to start your day. You know, you're doing something positive for yourself, which always like snowballs into better habits. Like the same thing with like the reading one chapter, like you read more, you do all these other things that just like snowball. And every time I have it, I'm like, ooh, I have a little zing. Like I have more, like I feel awake. When I do it, my husband asks for a glass. It also like creates a good habit for him. Literally all the small things really do impact your day and the people around you. Oh, wait, one other benefit from that. Definitely. So yeah, drinking lemon water, and I would say the lemon water and the probiotic supplements, like a high quality good one, that has helped me go to the bathroom regularly, which is amazing. I'm sure moving my body helps that too. But those two things I think really made a really big difference for me. And I mean, who doesn't like to go regularly? So tip. Lastly, but not least, okay, I'm a Bible reading girly, but to add to my daily time with the Lord, my husband and I started the daily growth journal for my church, and it's 365 days of the year. And this has been so great. It's been so great. We started in January. So we started in January. Basically, it's a passage of the Bible. Like you read the word. It'll tell you to pray and pray for wisdom and discernment as you read the scriptures. And then it asks you 6 questions. What verse stood out to you? How could you apply it to your life? Who can you pray for today? Who can you encourage today? What are you praying for? That kind of thing. And then it has like a weekly review, testimonies, and like going over what are your goals for next week. So me and Danny will at the end of the week go over everything and like talk about anything that stood out to us, which has been so good for us, and individually so good for us too. But this, like alongside reading the word, has been so beautiful for me. I feel like it's a habit of being intentional with spending time with the Lord and taking extra needed steps. But not only that, but being intentional with like thinking about other people, praying for other people, encouraging other people. It's been really cool. I feel like I've just learned a lot about, like I've had some revelations too, just by reading the scriptures that were in here. But yeah, I could put the link down below. But just doing something like that, like journaling every day, reading the word and journaling, or having that dedicated time with the Lord, because like we're living in crazy times. And if you're not having communion with the Lord, I want to encourage you to do that. Take extra time every day. And healthy habits, guys. Nothing more important than that. So I'm going to end it off with that. And I hope this was like encouraging. I hope this was motivating, even though it's not based on motivation, but I hope it does motivate you to want to start creating better habits for you and your family, because your kids, even your husband, like you will impact them, and it will impact them. It will influence them. So let's do this. But I love you. Thanks so much for watching. Like, share your thoughts and your habits you want to change, if anything you've done, and your book recommendations for me. Yeah, I'm gonna go. I have a lot to do today. So love you, and I'll see you in the next